Just to give you a bird's eye view over here, these are all the buildings. This is the first section that I would classify it as. They're bigger buildings with places to get on top of, which is very important for Mordheim. This is a piece by Custom Kingdoms. It's kind of like a hollow, it's like foam in the middle and outside it's hard. I don't know what it is. It's a now defunct company. I put the it's not foam core. It's PVC paneling bottom, so it doesn't warp, and it has the sand, which all the pieces have, made out of it's the stuff used between tiles. I forgot, but that's the texture that I got that I used for all the pieces. So I even have that on the mat, on the mat that goes in the bottom, so that it's all seamless, so that you have the pieces, you have the rocks, you have the rivers, you have everything with the same texture of sand. It's all been dosed with a heavy amount of bits and little pieces of bushes and such. I've also added, like every piece has all sorts of skulls all over the place. I bought 5 boxes of Warhammer skulls to just splinter all over little cracks and all over little places. Here's the other Custom Kingdoms piece, also with bushes and all sorts of details across it. The other thing I did is when I made the rest of the pieces, I just repainted these pieces in the same manner so that it's all the same. These buildings over here, they're made to feel or look like they're half buried by ages in the sand, which is why they're all kind of like either falling over or on its axis, or like you don't see the complete building because you assume that half of it is under ground, right? So here's another piece. There you can see a Tomb King shield, you can see more skulls. This is a bit that I copied a bunch with blue stuff and I put all over the place, which is a Tomb King symbol. Here's another piece. This is actually a piece I bought from a site in Europe that has like a Tomb King, that has a bunch of Tomb King stuff as well, that I've been using all over the terrain. As you can see, this is also meant to be a half-buried building. Actually, this building over here, I got inspired by a building from Warhammer 2 from a Tomb King's map. I believe this one as well was kind of inspired by that. And you know, with like the low door, you see the door there is kind of like not complete, obviously, because it's half buried. And all of these buildings, they're actually made out of the building itself is mostly Hurstart bricks, but a lot of people don't like, or at least I don't like, how it comes out, because you use the white powder, the dental plaster, and when it chips, you see the white behind it. So what I did for these guys is the dental plaster, I tinted it with concrete coloring, and I tinted it black. So if it does chip, you see black, which is natural. And then I took a hand tool and chipped away at certain pieces, which is how you got those holes. And obviously I put all sorts of details and skulls, and but I think the main thing here, or that I like that I did, is that even though it chips, or if it does chip, you're gonna see black. It's not gonna look out of the ordinary. Now, keep in mind, I also did something else to make these a lot more hardy, which is after I put it together and I chipped it, I put a thin layer of resin over it, which the dental plaster absorbs, and it makes it rock hard, and that gives it an extra layer of durability. Yeah, but obviously these are heavy pieces. They're not something that you can just throw on the ground. They might crack. This one is the only one that survived the original, my original design. I actually made this one out of Hersar bricks, but I made the bricks out of resin, which is nice. It's sturdy. It won't break in any manner whatsoever. The only problem with the resin is that I wasn't able to do the chipping that I did in the other buildings, as you can see. So it's kind of like clean, which I don't like, but I kind of like what I was able, like I was able to save this piece by making it lean over. It's kind of interesting. It gives it a feel of it being out of like, you know, things aren't right. It's not just a standing building. It's kind of like this has been abandoned for a long time. Here we have another piece. It's a pretty standard building, but it has a nice rooftop to be able to play around. And this is another one I found, I copied from Turtle Warhammer 2, which is also a buried building, a half-buried building. I got a new Shopti here, which I copied with blue stuff as a statue. No. And then we have all these little pieces here, which are to be used as smaller scatter terrain. A half-buried thing, but it has a nice little walkway over here, and you can kind of connect the walkways. This is a leftover from the resin pieces from the original, the first buildings I made. Here's a very buried building with a Shopti statue on the top, and some more little pieces of small scatter terrain. As you can see, I like to make irregular borders. I don't like round borders because it looks unnatural when you put it on the mat. And here's the last piece, which is another kind of like buried pillar, whatever. And you can see all the skulls and all the little details all over the place. But anyways, this is the first set.